Hello, I am Riddick. Dick Riddick. How the hell does Vin Diesel do that? Hey everyone, yes, I'm going to be talking about Riddick, the third movie in the Riddick trilogy. Pitch Black was just an okay movie to me. Chronicles of Riddick, I honestly didn't have any fun with it. And Riddick was, it's basically a remake of Pitch Black when you really think about it. It has the exact same plot, um, even though it's in a different setting, but it is very similar, and it deals with creatures that come out at night. So yeah, it's basically Pitch Black all over again, except with much better special effects. Even though some special effects are pretty bad, but I'll get to that later. So Vin Diesel is back, and he's still badass. And I don't even know how he's able to handle that voice. Does he sound like that since birth? My God, what a manly, badass voice. This takes place right after Chronicles of Riddick. He is a king of whatever. I honestly totally forgot about Chronicles of Riddick, but it shows like the last few moments of it. So he's a king who is basically bored, I guess, or he says that he wants to find his homeworld, which is Furia, but honestly, he just looks bored being king, and he has a bunch of women who they showed they're butt naked, and they're making out with each other, and they want him to have sex with them. And he's like, I don't want to have sex with them anymore. I want to go to Furia. And Carl Urban shows up for only 2 minutes. Hi, I'm Carl Urban. Bye. Yep, that's Carl Urban. And yeah, he's only in it for 2 minutes. He says something about being transcendence and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I totally forgot. I keep hoping he would just be in another Dread sequel. But I don't think they'll ever make one because the first one didn't make as much money as it should. But honestly, if they do make a sequel to Dread, I'll be very happy. That is a great movie. So Riddick asks Carl Urban to take him to Furia, and Carl Urban's like, are you sure you really want that? I mean, you're king and you have a bunch of naked women here. He's like, yeah, I'm bored. Okay, fine, I'll take you to Furia. Carl Urban sends a couple soldiers with Riddick to go to Furia, but Riddick says it's not Furia. Yeah, the writing in this is stellar. There's one guy who doesn't have a mask, and he has this weird scar tattoos all over his face, and he decides to betray Riddick. And a couple other soldiers. So Riddick fights off everyone except the weird scar tattoo guy who has like a gravity gun or something like that because he's shooting at the ground, and then that's when Riddick falls and he's crumbled under a bunch of rocks, which he should have died, but then it cuts back to him, strangling the pterodactyl-like bird thing. All he got from that is just a broken leg. And you know what? The first 30 minutes of this movie was very, very interesting. He's stranded on this world that he's never been in. He doesn't have many weapons. I think he only has a knife. And he uses his armor to make a stilt for his leg, which was very painful to look at, but I like that it shows him being a survivalist. And it does have a little narration from Vin Diesel. But honestly, Riddick doesn't really talk that much. Yes, he talks a lot during his narration, but he only says a few words. Riddick is wandering around, and then he comes across these alien jackals who are like half hyena slash half greyhound. They are big dogs, but the CGI for them goes from bad to very acceptable. It's very hard. It depends on the lighting of them. I mean, when you look at them close up, they look pretty good, but what farther away with the animations and stuff, you can really tell it's CG. So he's being chased down by these jackals, and then he finally comes to this lake, which has these giant scorpion-like reptiles. It's very hard to explain what kind of aliens these are. These things have like the head of a lizard and 2 legs and a huge ass tail, which is another head, I believe, because it breathes and all that stuff, and it has like a scorpion-like thing with the pincer. So, unfortunately, Riddick doesn't have the tools to fend himself against this alien, so he decides to study it and then try to figure out how to get to the forest. So he spends, I don't know how much time has passed, days, weeks, months. It's like watching Tom Hanks in Castaway. Unfortunately, you can't even tell if time passed because Riddick still looks the same. It's not like he's growing hair or growing a beard. Riddick adopts a dog, and You know, that's one of the best parts about this movie that you would never expect. Riddick adopts a dog and takes care of it. And the puppy is so adorable even though it looks so fake. After time has passed, Riddick finally decides to try to kill the reptile slash scorpion thing. So he goes to the lake, does this awesome unnecessary slow-mo jump just to fall onto the lake. And you know what? These scenes with him fighting against this thing is pretty intense. And the way it's handled is very, very good. Even though it's Riddick, he should be killing these very, very quickly and more efficiently. I don't know. This one seems very tough on him. It's like man on man, predator, man versus predator, and you know it's very well done. And you know the camera angles are good, and the CG for the most part looks good. And even for a low budget movie, the CG is actually pretty excellent. Riddick fights this reptile scorpion thing, and he succeeds. And then it turns out the big mama reptile scorpion comes out and is humongous. Riddick takes the puppy, does an awesome slow-mo sliding shot through the water with the bone knife slicing through the intestines of the reptile scorpion thing, and then goes into the forest. Right after that, you don't know how much time has passed, but all you have to know is that the puppy is no longer a puppy, it becomes a big-ass dog! And my god, he got more awesome. The dog is awesome. You know, this kind of reminds me of I Am Legend with Will Smith and the dog, because that was the best part about the movie, the relationship between the man and his dog. And honestly, I didn't expect to see that from Riddick. The first half of the movie is nothing but Riddick and his dog, but it just works for some reason. He takes care of the thing, he has kind of funny moments with the dog, and it's adorable, and I don't know. I never expect Vin Diesel with an alien dog. So Riddick finds a human base, which is nearby, and it's, I don't know if it's for mining, but I know that bounty hunters use it as a station to recharge and stuff. So Riddick decides to leave because a storm is coming. At first he thought it's just a regular rainstorm, but after using his special power thing, he realizes that, oh my god, there's going to be millions of those reptile scorpion things coming out. So he finally decides to leave. So he pulls up a beacon, which automatically knows that he's a convict, and the funniest thing is that it's for the bounty. It says that the bounty is rewarded double if he's returned dead. First time I ever seen that in a movie. Usually the bounty doubles if they return him alive. But no. He has to be dead so the bounty can double. I don't see the logic in that, but okay. I guess it's because he's Riddick. So all the bounty hunters come. There's two factions of the bounty hunters. One is led by this Spanish guy. I believe his name is Santana. And Dave Bautista is his right-hand man. And you know what? I don't know much about Dave Bautista, but I liked him in this one, and I can't wait to see him as Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has a very good personality. I like the dude. So the other group of bounty hunters come, and there's only like 4 members, I believe, and it's led by Officer Johns. And it turns out that he's the father of Officer Johns from the first movie, Pitch Black. You know, I don't know why they have to tie the story threads together. They could have made another story, but, you know, I guess it's for the fans. But I totally forgot about it until I read on Wikipedia who the hell is Officer Johns. And among the bounty hunters led by Officer Johns, there's Katie Sackhoff. I believe her character's name is Dahl, D-A-H-L. And I never watched Battlestar Galactica. I should. All my friends told me to go watch it. And I know that she's a badass chick. But for some reason, she was just boring here. They didn't really give her much to do. And it's very disappointing because what I really liked about the first Pitch Black movie is the female protagonist. I believe her name is Rana Mitra. I totally forgot the actress's name, but she was pretty good. She was a leader. She has to figure out how to survive in this situation and try to keep her crew members together, but also has to take care of herself, and she's struggling between her selfishness and taking care of the people, and you know what? I like that. In this one, she's just a badass chick who doesn't do anything, unfortunately. So the two groups bicker and bicker and bicker, and Santana's like, you know, I'm going to put Riddick's head in a box. Yeah, I'm gonna say this out loud, even though I know who Riddick is. Yeah! And everyone's like, dude, you're gonna have your head in a box. Foreshadowing! Riddick just studies the groups, and he realizes that the two bounty hunter factions decide to take out a space node from their spaceships and put it in a locker which is held by an explosive mine. And the combination lock is held by Santana. I don't know how the hell this combination lock works, because they said, oh, you have to put in a series of clicks. But it just looks like he's turning the dials to the left 6 times. What combination? It doesn't show anything. Whatever. Because they took out the space node from each of the ships, the spaceships are now functional. They can't drive off. So Riddick knows he has to take both of them. He even left a warning. Leave one ship, I'll take the other, or else you all die. Unfortunately, no one agrees with that. So Riddick's like, okay, I'm going to start killing people. So he killed off, I believe, 2 at first. 2 of Santana's men. And so Officer John and his gang tried to track down Riddick. They shot the targeting thing on his dog, so they went to the cave, and turns out it was a distraction. And then we go back to the human base, and we see Katie Sackhoff's side boob. Listen, I like seeing women's boobs, but only if it's kind of necessary, you know what I mean? She's beautiful. She has a great figure. Her breasts look excellent, but for some reason, I don't need to see Katie Sackhoff's boobs. You don't need to. And it's pointless anyway. They only show her that because Vin Diesel tries to steal some makeup kit so he could use it as a mirror. That's it. That's the only reason why she has to be naked in that scene. Blah. So Katie Sackhoff comes out, and she believes Santana is spying on her, and she fights with Santana. And it looks like Santana is going to rape her, and oh yeah, it turns out that doll is probably a lesbian. I don't know how she worded it. She says she doesn't fuck guys, so I'm assuming that means she's a lesbian. Unless she does like men, but she just, I don't know, it's confusing to me. If she's a lesbian, good for her. But they didn't really go with that for some reason. Also, here's the weird thing. All the men keep saying that they want to rape Doll. I don't know how to feel about that. You don't need that in this movie. So Santana looks like he's going to rape Doll, and Doll beats his ass. And it's a funny scene because everyone comes back to the base, and Officer John looks at the huge amount of blood throughout the station, and there's even a saying that says, take the deal or something like that on the locker with the explosive mine. And he's asking Doll, okay, so whose blood is this? Whose puddle of blood is that? Why is it over there? And Doll's like, oh, sorry, I had to kick Santana's ass again. So it shows Santana, and he's just smiling like this with a little nosebleed. And I'm like, okay, something doesn't add up. Santana lost a lot of blood then. Because, seriously, it's a huge puddle of blood, and it's enough to write writing on the fucking locker. And that was from just beating him up? He's not unconscious or anything? Man, what a trooper. And then there was this long scene with Santana trying to open the lock, and then everyone's like, oh no, Riddick probably took your key when you weren't looking, and because he probably took the notes, and you're going to put the key and probably put in the wrong combination, then the locker will explode. Yeah, Riddick didn't take the key. It was just, a ploy, so they leave the locker open, and Riddick can come in and steal the 2 notes. Okay, I kind of buy that, but the scene dragged on for so long, there was no tension. Ugh. So Riddick takes the notes, right under their noses. Wow, if these bounty hunters are considered the best of the best, especially with Officer Johns, and they were right next to the fucking locker, how could Riddick take it from, I don't know, probably Riddick is a magician. So Riddick takes the space notes, goes miles away from the base, and digs a huge ass hole and puts the nodes in there. I don't know why. So everyone in the base knows that Riddick took the nodes. So Riddick just puts on the guy he killed's headset, and he's like, listen, you should call backup because I'm going to kill them too. So if I were you, you should listen to me. So Officer Johns is like, you know what? I will find you, you bastard! And Riddick's like, I'm over here. Hey! And Riddick does a slow-mo walking into the camera. And then he puts down his weapons, and everyone else puts down their weapons, except for Doll, who has a horse tranquilizer, sniper rifle. Yeah, she shot 4 of them into Riddick. And he's still not backing down from that. Wow, Riddick is badass. And unfortunately, Santana kills the dog. And that made me sad, because that dog is a great character. Yes, the CG on him can sometimes be horrible. Oh my god, I gotta talk about the CG here. You know, sometimes, yes, the dog can look bad. Yes, sometimes the environments can look fake. But most of the times, it looks beautiful, especially for a low-budget sci-fi movie. But my god, the hover bikes. You know the awesome hover bike scene from Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi? Yeah, imagine that being done now instead of not using modern technology. And not adding wind to the characters. Seriously, basically, the guys are just standing still, like this, and then they just kind of move up and down. And there's no wind added, so it looks like they're just in front of a green screen. Best special effect ever! But yeah, that's the worst special effect here. And every time they fucking show that, it just ruins the imagery. I mean, I can understand the CG on the dog. That's very hard to do. I can understand the CG on the reptiles. I can understand the CG on the backgrounds. But they look pretty good for the most part. But then you have the stupid-ass hover bikes, and it just ruins everything. Seriously, these hover bikes look horrendous. Oh! So they captured Riddick, and they chained him up, and he's like, you know, you should have taken my deal. Now I'm gonna kill all of you. Starting with you, Santana, because you said you're gonna put my head in a box. And how I'm gonna do that? I'm gonna use your fucking long-ass machete. That's what I love about Riddick, because he doesn't back down on his word. He fulfills it. So the storm comes, nighttime comes out, it's dark, it's raining, and the aliens are starting to appear. So a couple guys get killed, I think about 3 of them, and then Riddick's just laughing, and he's like, and my god, his laughing, Vin Diesel sinister laughing, badass! So Santana's like, I had enough of your shit. So he tries to kill Riddick. I don't know why he wants to kill Riddick. Because seriously, Riddick is the only one who knows where the space nodes are. And the aliens are gonna kill them pretty soon. I'm pretty sure you need Riddick. So he decides, fuck it, I'm gonna kill Riddick with this machete. So he tries to kill Riddick. Riddick just kicks him off. And then the machete fell down. Riddick bounces on his foot. Kicks it at Santana, and right before Santana realizes he's gonna die, he's like, oh shit! He closes his eye, and then the machete went through his skull, and the top of his head just fell off, and went into the box. The box that he said that he's gonna put Riddick's head in. So I was like, best part of the movie. Unfortunately, it gets pretty lacking there after that. Because there's really not much action in this Riddick movie. You expect Riddick to kill more people, but he doesn't. It's the aliens killing off the rest of them. So they decide, Officer Johns, Dave Bautista, and Riddick decide to go after the space nodes. They go on this stupid-ass hover bike thing. You know, at least it looks better in the nighttime shots because, you know, there's not much lighting. So it looks more realistic compared to the bright daylight shots of the hover bikes, but seriously, they still look fake. But there's some beautiful imagery right here. Every time the lightning strikes, then you see the aliens, and then when the light clears, it's just pure darkness, and you only see Vin Diesel's eyes. You know what? Beautiful. It's perfect. And most of the shots are in slow-mo. Not like the 300 slow-mo, but you know, the slow-mo is acceptable in here. So the 3 guys went to the space nodes, and Dave Bautista's like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to kill both of you. So Riddick chops off Dave Bautista, bye Dave Bautista, and he and Officer Johns decide to go back to the spaceships. Officer Johns is like, you know what? Tell me what happened to my son. And Riddick is like, Well, your son was a douchebag. You know, he tried to kill me. He tried to kill a girl. So I left him to die by the aliens. What else do you want from me? So Officer Johnson's like, okay, headbutts him, and then leaves Riddick for dead. So Officer Johnson goes back to the spaceship. Doll does absolutely nothing. She, seriously, that's why I'm very disappointed. You have a character who's probably a lesbian, who's supposed to be a badass. She's known for Battlestar Galactica for being a badass chick, but she does absolutely nothing in this movie. Why? That is a poor decision. Damn it! So Riddick is wounded, and then he realizes that he's surrounded by all these aliens trying to kill him. So there's this awesome scene of him climbing this mountain, fending off the aliens. And he starts with the big-ass bone sword. The sword part breaks, so he fights it with the club. And then the club breaks, so he decides to beat everyone up with his bare hand. And when it looks like he's about to die and all hope is lost for Riddick, Officer Johns decides to come back and pick him up in the spaceship, and you know what? They go their separate ways, and Riddick goes to Furia. So yeah, there's 3 survivors. There's Dahl, Officer Johns, 4 survivors, sorry. There's Riddick, of course. He has to survive. There's Officer Johns, there's Dahl, and I forgot to mention this character. There's this very young guy who... He's religious. He holds up a Bible. And he's not really that irritating, but, you know, he's no Keith David. Keith David in Pitch Black was awesome. I really liked him. But in this one, he was sometimes annoying, but he doesn't really speak that much, so I'm okay with that. But he's, like, holding on to the Bible every single time. He's like, oh, Jesus, oh, God, my prayer. Oh, God, this is a sign that we should leave because, you know, otherwise we die. Yeah, he does that shit, and, you know, they could have wrote him so much more better. So, what did I really think of this movie? Like I said, it's a dumb movie that doesn't really have that much action, doesn't have that much Riddick killing people, unfortunately. Seriously, how many people he killed? He killed, in the flashback, he killed 3 guys with knives. That was awesome. Then he kills 2 of Santana's men, Santana himself, Dave Bautista, and that's it. I believe there were 10 other bounty hunters altogether, and 3 of them survived, and everyone else is killed off by the reptile scorpion things. You know, I still recommend it. I honestly think it's like a high-definition remake of Pitch Black. And I saw Pitch Black recently again just to familiarize myself with the story, and the effects do not hold up at all. And it had too much of the Dutch angle things. And the director, David Towie, he did get experience from directing for Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick. So he made some impressive shots in there. And you know what? If there's another Riddick movie, I can't wait to see it, actually. This one was really kind of disappointing, but not really. I did like things that I find surprising. I really like Riddick and the dog. I really like Riddick... being Riddick. Unfortunately, he doesn't kill that much. So if you want Riddick killing people, he only kills off like 5 dudes most. I miscounted. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 7. He kills off 7 people in this whole movie. So if you want more than that, unfortunately, there's nothing else. So, and, but if you've never seen Pitch Black, go watch this one. Because honestly, I think this one is a better Pitch Black movie than Pitch Black. But why I recommend Pitch Black a little bit more? Because of Keith David and the main female character. They're both very good. And that's why I recommend it. So, yep. Thanks. That's my review, everyone. Thank you.